Hey guys, it's your girl B Woods, the Millionaire Midwife, coming live actually from Atlanta, about to travel back to Houston. Wanted to get on real quick with all of you childcare millionaires to talk about Corona and childcare and what we'll be doing tomorrow to help you prepare. I know most of you may be in classrooms or taking care of kids. We were actually already closed today because it's spring break in Houston. So we had closed today to give our staff a spring break day, as we do every year for the last 6 years. But we do know that many of you have questions about whether or not you should open next week with the school districts in Houston closing. So I wanted to provide this time for a Q&A session or your thoughts. And then on tomorrow, excuse me, I'll be actually hosting a prep class for those of you who feel like you need some resources, and I'll post that after the video. But right now I just really want to answer your questions. So one question that I got already, and I'll answer that first as I eat lunch, was, this is a lunch and learn, was are kids as susceptible? No, they're not, but we still have a duty to make sure that we're doing everything we can do to prevent any spread of germs from teachers to students, students to teachers, parents to teachers. So we have some ideas about what we're going to do on next week to help that. So I'm in the Houston area. All of our surrounding school districts are closed next week. The second question I got mostly was, am I closing next week? So I want to give this answer with a disclaimer. The decision I'm making for my center may not be the best decision for your center. So I want to give that disclaimer. We are opening next week. We have a lot of blue-collar families who actually need child care. We don't have any cases of corona in our community. And we also are taking the advisement of Harris County Health. And tomorrow, if you join the master class, I'll be actually sharing the actual direct advisement of Harris County Health. They did not advise schools to close. Again, they did not advise schools to close. Hey Raven, hey Robin, hey Michael, hey Chelsea, hey Tiffany. If you know someone in this group, tag them real quick. If you have time, please drop a question or two. So Harris County did not suggest that school close, but they did have a suggestion that if you had a gathering of over 250 students, that they suggested that you ban service. This is one of the reasons why most campuses closed. Also, TEA allows schools to close without penalty. So you have to understand that schools are doing what's financially best for them. They don't know how many students are going to come. And a lot of times when TEA gives a waiver, the schools will accept it. You may remember this around Hurricane Harvey. Even after the water subsided, the school districts decided to close for a certain amount of time so they can prepare. So again, you need to do what's best for your center. Hey Star. And Star, I'm interested to know what are you thinking about doing. But we are not closing. This is what we are doing. We did a SWOT analysis, and I don't know if you know what a SWOT analysis is, but it's strengths, that's the W, weaknesses, strengths is the S, weakness is the W, O is the opportunity, and T is the threats. Of course, during this time, there are a lot of threats against us, but there is some opportunity, right? So first thing we did is we listed our strengths. One of our strengths was we did not have a recommendation to close. Another one of our strengths was we have enough staff to make sure we sanitize and clean, and we can implement a daily process. So one of our weaknesses was we can't promise anyone anything. So I don't suggest that you promise anyone anything. All we can do is help prevent. Another one of our weaknesses is if we get a staff member that's sick, of course we don't want them to come to work. So hey Lisa, that would in turn be a weakness. Then we went to opportunities. So one of our biggest opportunities during this corona situation as it relates to childcare is there will be some parents who need to go to work that don't normally use our services, and this could actually help us stay afloat. How many of you could close for 2 weeks financially? Tell me that. I'm gonna wait. Is there anyone here who can financially afford to close for 2 full weeks? 14 days. Anyone? Most centers cannot close, you know, for 2 full days. Yes, and I did see that, Michael. Also, the small SBA is having some loan and funding opportunities. The great thing about that is there may be help available, but how long will it take to get that help? We don't know. The other thing is, if you, excuse me, trying to eat and talk. If you have not kept your books in good order, or you're not prepared, you may not be prepared to do the application. Just being real. So one of the things that, you know, I just want to advise you is take time to look over your money. So one of the opportunities we know that we have is that we can do drop-ins, that we can maybe at least cover our baseline expenses. If we don't open, it costs us $25,000 a week to close. So we'll lose $25,000 a week in potential revenue. I hear no. Raven said no. Okay, so most of us, you know, we've agreed that, you know, we probably cannot close for a long length of time without some kind of assistance. One of the other opportunities that we saw is normally during times like this, there is assistance programs. You need to be on the lookout for them, so when they hit your area, you're ready to apply. And then, of course, we have threats. We have a threat that, you know, Child Care Administration will close us. Like, we won't have a choice. Another threat is definitely about our finances and budget, meeting budget. What if the state closes and we don't get state subsidy or food service, federal subsidy? Have you made a plan to overcome that? Yes or no? I'm going to wait in the chat. I'm going to take a bite of food too. It is Lunch and Learn. Hopefully you have your lunch and I'm not the only one eating. I'm going to give you a second to reply. Do you have a plan if state subsidies like NCI or the Federal Food Service Program, if they halt reimbursements? Do you have a plan? Alright. So these were all questions, like valid questions that we're asking ourselves. We also instituted a transportation plan, and we wanted to I'm eating airport food. I'm actually at the airport. Chinese food from the airport. It's not very good either. The rice is a little scorched, but I'm trying to make it work. We have a transportation plan, which basically sanitizing our transportation. Oh, that's good, Marsha. If 90% of your income is from parent pay, that's great. About 33% of my income is from subsidy, so that's about, for us, about $36,000 a month. Comes from either food service subsidy or child care payment subsidy. So, I mean, the majority of ours is cash pay, but we still have a large subsidy portion. Large. Yeah, about $36,000. Maybe a little more, maybe 40. Yeah, Ashley, like you, kind of like, one of my centers, over half of my centers is on subsidy. You know, we own multiple centers in the Houston area. So every center is different. So could you survive without state subsidy? If state offices closed or people work from home or there was a delay in funding, could your company survive? These were some threats in that SWOT analysis. So we have done everything from a protocol from how parents will pick up their kids, phone tree, how we communicate. We actually have an app that helps us to communicate with parents well. So do you have a plan? Okay. Hey, Ashley, if you're not sure, you need to really think about that. What state are you in, Ashley? Let me know. And Jalita, that's wonderful, but I know and you know that most of your people that are in your association, that's not true. And before you reopen, I think you took state subsidy. So will you take state subsidy at the new infant center? And then we also have to think about the needs of our parents. Now, the needs of our parents and the needs of the children cannot overshadow the health need, right? That's why it's important that we are ever looking at the CDC recommendations, your local health recommendations. Our local health recommendations did not recommend schools to close. That's the premise that we're opening on. However, we're also following the advisements of CDC to make sure that we put the right things in place, and we have some extra precaution. One of our precautions is when parents pick them up, we're going to be picking them up at the door. We have some Go packets, and that's why we're doing. Okay, great, you do take it, and that's why tomorrow and Monday I'm going to do it twice because I know time is of the essence for some people. I'm going to do it twice. It's going to be a Child Care Corona Crisis Masterclass. And I'm going to share you the letter that we're sending to our parents. I'm going to share a social media template because different parents communicate in different ways. So how will you update your Facebook page? Are you going to be texting parents, calling parents? Who's going to help you text and call parents? We have over 180 parents, but we are actually doing a call touch point on Saturday. What is your strategy? You just need to be able to clearly communicate your strategy to parents. And you really need to be able to justify with your staff, yourself, your stakeholders, the state, why you decide to open or close. You need to know how many parents actually need your care next week. Another threat that we identified was some parents losing work and not being able to pay. So there's more threats in this situation than just the possibility of someone contracting the virus. One of the questions I got is, how is the virus like the flu? I'm going to post something from the CDC about that. But err on the side of caution. If an employee or a kid is not well, send them home. Don't wait for someone to tell you. We will be... Well, I'll tell you more about our plan tomorrow because my plan may not work for your plan. But if you are really, really interested in crafting a plan, you may want to hop on the masterclass. I mean, it may not be a lot of us. It's not a free class. I've paid a lawyer. I've paid for some consulting from my CPA and kind of package some things together for you that you can use. For example, a letter for your parents. Do you want your parents to sign a waiver? What are some protocols you can put together for your staff? What's something you can pass out for your staff? I'll be providing those things. So it's not expensive. It's only $49, $50. But that $50, like for us, puts $25,000 on the line every week, right? And so, I've consulted with people over the last week, and I want to share that with you guys in the masterclass. It's totally optional, but it's available. And we're going to do it at 2 different times. One is tomorrow morning at 8, and then one is Monday at 7. Because you may have, more questions. If you come Saturday, you can also come on Monday. But, of course, if you come Monday, it may be the last day. We may have something ongoing around this crisis plan. And then we have to share information. But I did go ahead and get someone in communications and to look over all the documents. And so we'll kind of just share costs. Some of you maybe can't afford to have a lawyer or a CPA look over your plan. We did. And so we'll definitely share that and give you a template of what you can do in your own center. Everyone's center is different. My centers are not different, even though I own them all. They have different needs and different parents. And different parents want different things. Yeah, Lisa. So I'll post a link after the video. But more than anything, you just want to encourage hand washing, sanitation, taking toys out of rotation. Just like normal. But there's some extra precautions you can do. Fever checks more often, sanitizing your van, sanitizing your playground. There's actually this one apparatus that we're looking into buying. It's a sprayer. to sanitize. So there's some things that you can do. For supplies, we are looking for a supplier that we can drop in the group for if you need cleaning supplies or household items. You also may need a plan for buying groceries for your center. Like right now, the grocery stores are a little empty, so you maybe cannot buy 50 gallons of milk a week at one time. So what's your plan for groceries? What's your plan for food? Oh, great question, Raven. Can someone tell me what time it is? I actually have a flight to catch. And I'm going to answer Raven's question as soon as someone tells me what time it is. Okay, guys, I have to go in just a second. My plane is going to start boarding in 5 minutes. Yes, if parents do not come, we are not penalizing them. Thank you, Julitha. If parents do not come, we're not penalizing them. Even we're giving a grace because we feel like it's an act of God. I mean, that's what the news is saying as well. So we're not penalizing them. However, if our after schoolers come, we're going to go to our summer rate. We're not going to do our normal after school rate. So if parents don't come, we're not forcing them to pay. However, if they come, we're going to do our after school rate. We're going to take precautions. We made a signature bag for each kid, and I'll tell more about I'm not sure who that is. I'll tell more about that in the masterclass tomorrow. Again, the masterclass, one will be tomorrow, one will be Monday. We'll go over a comprehensive plan to be on for about 2 hours. And you may want to have your team available. We'll go over everything from forms. What do you need to be telling your team? What do you need to be telling your parents? What do you need to be putting on social media? How are you going to communicate? We're going to have some videos that we're going to upload into a group for you guys. Everything that we have, we're going to share with you. And if you come to the masterclass, we'll continue to share throughout, the few weeks of this situation. Okay, Lisa, I'll make sure. Just give me like 1 second after we do this video. I didn't want to put the link out and people didn't understand what we were doing. So my marketing team has already uploaded the landing page and it's ready to go. So as soon as I get off, I will load that up. And again, I'm going to share you everything that I have. All right, guys. I'm sorry that I can't continue the Q&A, but I may do a Q&A tomorrow and a few more times. Most of all, you stay safe. Keep your kids safe. Make the best decision for your company. Whatever that decision is, you have to be okay with it. And I hope you know that I love you all. I love our profession. We're bringing pride back into the child care profession. I know that you love your little ones and your babies, but this is also the profession that pays us, right? And so it's very important that we're profitable and that we're thinking ahead. So this is Brandy Woods, the Millionaire Midwife, signing off. I'll see you soon, but I'll still see you at the bank because we're not going to stop this flow. We're going to stay safe, but we're going to, we're going to follow our business practices to the T. I will tell you guys when I touch down to Houston. Thank you.